You can feel the difference. Hello, everyone. We are live, and it's exciting. I kind of hear a little bit of feedback, so I was like, What's happening?" It sounds okay now, but if I hear it again, I'll just have you ladies until we talk to mute out. But everything sounds good. I haven't been live in a while. I actually got a little bit of flutters right before I hit the live button because there's something different about going live versus pre-recorded. Pre-recorded's a safe space, right? So my nervous system, this is why I actually changed and started it, because when I learned about my nervous system, the safety of going pre-recorded is there, and it makes me feel a lot calmer, which I was actually equating to being boring. And then I miss the excitement of being live. But I've also realized that sometimes that chaos is because I grew up amongst chaos at times, and it makes me feel normal, but I don't want to live in chaos. So anyways, just a fun quick tip before we get into today's live. I am Jennifer Hart, your host. If you don't know me, this is Jennifer Hart Connected. I am the creator and founder of the Connected Soul Network. It is a membership and a network of amazing, beautiful, connected souls who are on the path of spirituality, personal growth, and development, looking to connect with community of like-minded people. And personal growth is very huge in this community. It's events and information based, and we have amazing guides. They are the ones that are like coaches, healers, practitioners who are guiding us along our journey. Then we have the explorers. I'm an explorer still also, but this is who I was when I started. And I'll get into my story a little bit later. And explorers are just looking to have guidance, consume content, attend the events. The membership is open, and we would love to welcome you in. But we are here today because the membership of the Connected Soul Network has its very first in-person event. It's actually really, really big. First of all, because it's an in-person event, but second of all, because it's like go big or go home. We're just not doing a one-day, couple-hour in-person event in where I live, like Modesto, Manteca, California. We decided that we're going to come to Lorie, who's on this live with us, in Mount Shasta, a super magical place that is actually the root chakra of the world, and do a 4-day event. Like, right? Just go big or go home. So that's what we're here to do today, is to bring you all the details, share about it, share a little bit about us. So if you haven't met me or the two collaborators that I have on here with me, and there's other guides that I'll be bringing on that are going to be helping to facilitate as well, then we are here to tell you about it and answer your questions. So I would love to introduce my two amazing co-collaborators, Jenn Hansen-Silva. She is a holistic health practitioner, and Lorie Solay, a personal and spiritual coach. I would love to invite each of you to tell a little bit about yourself. I know all about you, and I can add in my little tidbits, as I always like to do. But Jenn, let's start with you. And
sure.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you are currently doing in your business as a holistic health practitioner?
Yeah, so I am owner of Conscious Balance. I do an array of services that include past life regression, hypnotherapy, holistic health assessments, holistic health coaching, and I specify in inner child healing with emotional freedom technique. And I also, me and a business partner, Cherie of the Feathered Sage, we facilitate sacred or quantum sacred cacao ceremonies with breath work, as well as goddess retreats, which we just had one in October of last year. So we do a little bit of everything. But my main specifics is inner child healing. I really want to get that across into people's lives to bring awareness to healing that inner child, that important part of ourselves. So
thank you. And that inner child is so important. I literally just had like a lot of inner child moments. So if that work calls to you, Jenn is actually local in the Sutter Creek area, which is near Jackson.
yes.
And she does have an in-person facility, and she does do online as well.
Yes.
I'm like, we have to share in case people want to know, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And then I would love, Jenn, if you could share how did you start on your path and also into the work that you do now?
Yeah, so I have a master's degree in mental health and wellness. And I feel like each degree before that was a small awakening within, and I consider myself a mental health advocate for people, and struggling with PTSD personally has kind of brought me into wanting to help other people with their shadow work, which inner child comes in to that degree. But just struggling mentally, I would say about 10 years ago, and just being, frustrated with, societal conditioning things that we're supposed to deal with, that we haven't been, taught how to self-regulate or connect with our inner child. Like, a lot of people go their whole lives never connecting to their inner child. So for me, I felt something pulled me into, like, I want to know more about, how the brain works, and how, different types of mental health issues, how can that be incorporated into a spiritual aspect of things, as far as sound healing or aromatherapy, or something to bring the two bridges together into one. So I feel like over the years, just struggling mentally and then working on my mental health, using my own story in my psychology classes, really has brought me to where I am now, wanting to help other people, reason with other people that you're not alone in this. And that's where the conscious balance comes in. So
I love that. Thank you. Do you have like a specific breaking point that something happened and that's when you either decided to go to therapy or decided to do your first like exploration modality, or that you decided to study mental health in school?
yeah, I've always been interested in psychology. I even took psychology in high school. And so kind of from then, it kind of catapulted that interest. And then it took me several years to go back to school, and I took my associates was in a transformational psychology associate's degree, and then my bachelor's degree was more psychology, more of the modernized psychology based stuff. But I feel like just having a difficult childhood, just like most of us have experienced, and becoming aware of it has been the catalyst to change in a long-term session of through school. So start that first step of going to school is really what brought out the whole awareness of, oh, so I'm not alone in my mental health. Yeah, my childhood wasn't that great. I mean, our parents did the best they could, and so I think for me that's where the self-awareness comes. That it came with that to the past type of thing. Kind of tongue tied a little bit.
No, that's perfect. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
And I would like to have Lorie come up, and so everyone can meet Lorie. Lorie is a personal and spiritual coach. She is actually the one who suggested doing a event in Mount Shasta, because that's where she's located currently. So she's kind of like the mastermind behind the itinerary and all the fabulous places that we will be getting to visit, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But Lorie, can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do in your business?
Yeah, thank you very much. Oh gosh, where do I begin? I mean, I'm definitely somebody that loves to learn a variety of different things. I'm super creative. So, my background is in business. I went to school for business, but then when I was young, my father had an addiction to alcohol. So I grew up in a very dysfunctional family, and I was kind of odd. I was talking to the sky and talking to the cosmos when I was probably 9 or 10 years old. I remember my most favorite thing I wanted to do was sit at the window and just talk to the night sky. And I'd be the kid that would be out in the dirt, collecting rocks. I'd come in with like pockets full of rocks. I loved rocks. I loved being in the dirt. I loved climbing in the trees. So that influenced my whole life as it relates to just the things that I'm interested in. So it's no surprise that I am absolutely super excited to be sharing nature with people again, because so many people are disconnected. So moving here to Mount Shasta was one of the reasons why my family and I came here. I have a retreat called Temple Loam, and loam is soil. Loam is that perfect soil. So my retreats over the past couple of years here in Mount Shasta have been really around reconnecting to nature, reconnecting to intuition, seeing beyond the veil, communicating with spirit, communicating with the nature elements. That's really what completely like turns me on. Like, that's what I want to be sharing. And that's why I'm so happy that we're providing this for people. My personal development and spiritual coaching practice weave a lot of different things in, like hypnotherapy, NLP, quantum consciousness facilitation, Psych-K. Like, I have worked for years and years with like the world-class coaches around these topics. In NLP, I worked with the originators of it, and I've worked with psychologists who have taught different kinds of trance hypnotherapy practices. And all of it really boils down to human potential. Like, we barely scratch the surface of what we're capable of doing. And when we connect to, not only drop in and connect to the earth, Mother Earth, Father, Son, and connect to the cosmos, we become that multi-dimensional person that we are meant to be. And it's very much like what Jenn just said too, really uncovering all the trauma and releasing all this like shale on us. It's like this mud pack that we're shaking away that has, that the illusion of that third dimensional reality, which a lot of people refer to. Now, Shasta helps you shake all that off, my friend. Oh my goodness, does it. So did I answer your question? You kind of wanted to know a little bit about me. Okay.
So you kind of said, like, what was your turning point that got really, I guess, because I know what my turning point was. Like, what was your turning point that really got you into the work and going down the path of becoming a healer and a coach?
Well, I think I always was way back when, because when I was connecting to spirit and the cosmos, I was tapping into information that I really shouldn't have known as a kid. Like, when I'm the oldest of 3 girls, and I remember reframing, already doing NLP techniques, personal development techniques, back when I was 10, to help all of us through the trauma we were going through. My parents were going through a nasty divorce. So it started there, that was sort of the origin of it. And then, into my adult life with children, my husband and I had a very difficult couple of years, I'd say a decade, actually. I call it the dark decade of the soul, where he was also having to heal through some addiction. And when we were all sort of going through our healing process, he got into a program, I got kids in therapy, then I started doing my own work with all of the modalities that I'm using now, because I was very interested in kind of the leading edge. How do you do it and not spend years and years and years in therapy? And nothing against therapy. It's just, it's meant to, like, you're meant to shift and clean and heal things and then move on. So during that time with my husband, I started to do my own work. And one of the turning points for me was to come here. So I came to Mount Shasta in 2011. I started doing some retreats to really heal and to purify, to cleanse things. And I knew that it was really important to be in groups, kind of like what we're doing in terms of bringing people together. And when I got here, when I went through the first retreat, like, the mountain grabbed me by my heart and I could not escape it. And it started processing, because it is the root chakra of the planet. The energy here is about cleaning and purifying all of those old wounds, all of the wounds around safety, around community and connectivity, everything that, the root chakra really represents. And it started opening up my psychic ability. And it really shocked me. And I had to process it. It took me a couple of years working with teachers to go, like, what the heck is happening, having like a Kundalini awakening. So being here was really one of the catalysts to where I'm at now, to tapping into the abilities that I have now, that all of us have. We all have special gifts and things in the way that we can relate to the world on a different, with the clairs, with the clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient, all of that. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was so mesmerized by what you were saying that I was just like, oh my God, I can't wait to go. Like, and I'm like thinking to myself, like, what kind of transformation am I gonna have? Like, even though I'm a facilitator,
Yeah.
I'm still semi a participant. And as a facilitator, you'll have your own transformational experience as well, right? No stones left unturned. And I have not yet been to Mount Shasta myself. So
Yeah.
I know, I'm excited.
I think it was your idea, not mine. I mean, you knew I was here, but I think you're the one like, hey, we're going to have a retreat. Just want you to know.
Okay.
And you're the one that's like, let's do a retreat.
I'm like, I don't know, but we're here now and it's happening. And
For sure.
I know Jenn's an amazing planner and she's done like festivals and she's also a musician. And so I was like, I need more backup because I know that putting on an event takes a lot of work. We've put on a lot of women hours into this thus far with a lot more to go. And so I asked Jenn if she would come along and be on the committee with us. And she said, yes, thanks, Jenn, for that. So anyways, let me tell you a little bit about me. If you don't know me, my origin story. Well, first of all, I consider myself a connector. I am also a healer, but not a healer in the traditional sense like Jenn and Lorie are. I'm a healer in the sense of I put together events. I facilitate a space for people to come together. I call in people that need each other, and through connections, through informations that I put on in these interviews that I do, that I love to do, and also through the events that we put on, and making the connections of people will write me and be like, hey, I'm looking for an intuitive to do a card reading. Do you have any recommendations? And I get intuitive hits like, I think this might be a good fit for you. I always like to give a couple of options and tell people like, you go check out the people because you know what's best for you. And yeah, so that's kind of what's happening in the network now. So I'm a connector, a soul guide, and I am going to be starting up my blog. I'm working on a book. This is a long time in the making. I swear it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. And my story is that I was really feeling lost in my life and very sad and depressed. And I was about to turn 30. I think I was like 28. And 30 was like a big deal at the time. Now I'm like, oh my God, I love getting older every year. Like I really do feel that it's a really cool thing and I look forward to it. But I was really like, wow, I'm going to be 30 and I haven't done nothing. Like Lorie said, I have not met any of the potential in my life that I've wanted to meet. And I decided to make a bucket list, and it was really called 30 things I want to do before I turn 30. So I wrote down 30 things I've always wanted to do and never have done. And I started to do them, and it was just fun. Like that's it. Fun is also one of my top values. If you come to one of my events, we are going to have fun. It is guaranteed. I love to laugh and be silly and joke around, dance, sing, all the fun things. We'll be doing all of this on the trip. And yeah, I just started doing these things. I went speed dating. I learned how to shoot a gun. I took salsa lessons. I went out of the country for the first time. I went on a cruise. I moved to San Diego, which had been a long time dream. And it was like, I didn't realize it at the time, but as I just checked off these items, and it seemed really easy now. Previously, maybe I wasn't ready, but I was just having a good time, but it was also putting me out of my comfort zone. And then my gift came in. And it was that I bring people together. So I would say, I'm going skydiving. Does anyone want to go? Next thing I know, 7 other random people are coming, and now they're all having this bonding experience coming together. And yeah, I ended up like doing all of these fabulous things, and it all led up to, which was like one of my pivotal points of getting to San Diego. And in San Diego is where I think that I really started to have my spiritual awakening. When I look back, this whole bucket list was like my soul map, and it was leading me to where I needed to be. I got to San Diego, and like Lorie said with Shasta, things just started happening. Started having really weird experiences. I've always been super intrigued with astrology and psychics and intuitives. And I mean, I was doing reports and looking into astral travel in books when I was like young, in like 5th and 6th grade. No idea where it came from. There was no internet back then, really, at all. That's crazy to say that. But yeah, and so it really opened me up, and I really stepped into my spiritual path. And eventually I felt called. For a long time, I finally answered the calling of selling all my stuff and traveling around the world. And that was a magical experience in itself. And so I'm so excited to get to Shasta and get back to that. traveling, exploring a new place, tapping into the locals, and, kind of doing some things they do and exploring with nature. So with that being said, that's a little bit about me. I have a little bit different history. Oh, and also my spirit, sorry, the whole point of that was what is so important to me is I love to explore modalities, healing. I've been on this path. Aside from my spiritual path, my personal development path has just been, why am I the way I am? Why was I attracting all these emotionally unavailable men? And, then I started to say, who's the common denominator? What's happening? And that's when I kind of started to realize, like, maybe I have some work to do. And I find it so fascinating and intriguing. So I started doing all of these modalities, healing, seeing all these different healers. And I love to share as a connector. And so that's kind of how the network came about. And I meet all these amazing healers and I can share because I'm doing all of this experience. And I think that's part of my gift too, is to share the different things out there because people don't know. You don't know if you don't communicate it, right? So that was a very important piece. And I'm still on the journey as an explorer, hence where the names Explorer came from. That's who I was when I was about to turn 30. And now I've moved on to also being a guide where I guide others along the way through the network, through everything I'm doing. All right, let's get into the Mount Shasta details. I'm super excited. What will we be doing? So let me change the view here. Here we go. So this event is going to start on Thursday, July 20th and run until Sunday, July 23rd. Thursday is going to be just your travel day. Everybody's going to be coming in. We're going to meet at 5 p.m. at a local park. And from there, we are going to fill up our water bottles and go to an ecstatic dance. And I'm going to let Lorie take it away and tell us a little bit about these two places because she's the local and she's the expert.
Well, I think most people know ecstatic dance. It's an especially interesting experience here in Mount Shasta because this is sort of a convergence of many different kinds of personalities and people. And, again, people who are seekers, but then you've got your adventurers, outdoor people, you have your local country folk. Like, it's a really interesting, if you like a melting pot of things like that, that's what this is about. But we're going to be going to the headwaters, the city park, where you're going to be able to gather and drink live water. Now, this is a super big deal because most of us are drinking water out of the tap and it's dead water. They talk about it being dead because it goes through the pipes and it's chlorinated and whatever. Water is one of the most important things we can put in our body, right? We're about 70% water. So this live water that we're going to get, right? Yeah, this is from this live water that you're going to go to this beautiful area where you're going to step into this sort of like stream, and the water is coming right from the mountain. It's coming right out from under the mountain. And this water that you're collecting is about 50 years old by the time it's been filtering for about 50 years. So it's pulling all the minerals from Mount Shasta. Mount Shasta is obviously a volcano, so there's lots of interesting sediment there. This water is incredible. Like it just, when they talk about decalcifying your pineal gland and all of those things and how important water is, that you're going to be getting this immensely beautiful, healing, natural water. And that's what Mount Shasta is known for. So we're going to collect water there. You're going to get to, and we're going to recommend things for you when you decide to come. Like, maybe you bring a nice 3-gallon that so you can fill it up and take it home with you, which a lot of people do. So
I want to add to that, actually. Yeah. So I met with one of the guides today who lives near this area. Yeah. And I mentioned, she was asking what we're going to do and where we're going to go. And so I was telling her the whole itinerary. And she had told me, she's like, oh my gosh, the water place is so magical. And I just was laughing. I was like, this is amazing that the water place is even, because I'm just thinking like water, what I've seen when I went to Esalen and Big Sur in California, which also you can get water out of the side. It comes through a rock. It's also very clean water, natural water. And so that's what I was just picturing it to be. And she was like, no, it's a magical place. Yeah. Like, okay, amazing.
It is. It's funny. My son, my son is he's funny. He's 17, 18. So he'll say, oh my God, we got to go through the drumming circle. A lot of times there's a big drumming circle right there at the water's edge, right? Because we go and we collect, we have our 3-gallon with several of them that we fill up and bring home. And he's like, Mom, you're going to make me go through the drumming circle to get the water. So it's just kind of funny. So there's a lot of really interesting characters here that start in the spring, and they'll be here in the summer when you come for it. But then after we collect the water, we'll go to the ecstatic dance and enjoy the rest of the evening dancing. And you
Can
can walk around the park.
Can you tell what a static dance is? Because like I didn't know what it was when I first was an explorer. I just went to weird things and then sat on the sidelines for a long time. I was like, what's going on? Like drum circles. I loved them. I knew that I loved them, but I wasn't ready to go out there and be like, woo. Now I'm like, let's do it. But
yeah, it's just a dance gathering, and the music will vary. So I don't even know who's going to be there that night, but we have roaming DJs that come through town and we'll do a static dance, and it happens every Thursday night. But it's more lively, and there's a lot more people in the spring and summer because it's so beautiful here. So it's just a gathering to dance, and most cities have them. They call them a static dance. And yeah, and it's more, it's free flowing, and it tends to pull in, more of the spiritual crowd, maybe, especially here. You'll see it. You might get into town and decide you're going to buy yourself your Mount Shasta outfit so you can go to some of these things and enjoy yourself. So it's really fun. It's a good way to kind of start the beginning of the couple of days together.
I love it. I'm going to need an outfit, so I'm going to have to start working.
Yeah.
Actually, I have some elephant pants that I brought home from, I think, Vietnam a long time ago. So I might bring those. I got to remember to pack them. What I know ecstatic dance to be from my experience was just like really free flowing dancing. And I guess you can make it whatever you want, but like more so instead of like being like, yeah, you could do this, but like, it's like feeling the music and letting your body be in control of it. And what you're really doing is moving feelings and emotions and things through your body and releasing it also. So I just wanted to add that in. And so that's going to be our first night. I love it because it's two very local experiences. So as I travel the world, what I love to do is really tap into what are the locals doing. I love to do the tourist stuff too, but it was so fun to really get connected with locals, to talk to them, to go to the places that they go to and do the things that they do. So you can really get a true experience of where you are visiting. So that's awesome. Okay, so then Friday, we are going to be starting about very early in the morning. I'm not going to say because the itinerary can always shift and change. So this is a little disclaimer. But we're going to meet at the park, and then we are going to go to Castle Lake. Lorie, I'm going to give you just a quick overview so that you can tap into the other pieces. We're going to go to Castle Lake, and we're going to eat breakfast there. Breakfast is included. And then we're going to hike to the top and spend some time at the top. And that's where we'll be overviewing and overlooking Heart Lake, which is shaped like a heart. Oh my gosh, it's like my soul lake. We're going to do some ceremonies, rituals, grids. I don't know. We have a bunch of different stuff planned. We don't need to get into like those details right now. And then we will have some lunch at the bottom after we hike back down. And then we will head over to Castle Lake and do some paddle boarding and kayaking and hanging out. And then, Lorie, I'm going to let you talk about that, and then we'll have a break, and then we'll have Jenn talk about the next part.
Okay, perfect. Well, the waters here, as I said, are incredibly special. In fact, when people pilgrimage around the world to go to these sacred waters, we have those here in Mount Shasta. We have both what's called the red and white springs, and it's a mineral content that creates a very special sort of sacred kind of water. So we're going to experience that here, not necessarily on this day, but the waters here are so incredibly pure. When we hike up to Heart Lake, we're going to get to it about 6,500 feet. And we're basically looking across at Mount Shasta, and we're at the same elevation as Bunny Flats. And that's something, and we're going to be there on one of the days as well. But when we get to Heart Lake, I especially like to do ceremony around setting intention because we're higher in elevation. It sort of offers you a special connection. They talk about when you can get higher up and connect to the ionosphere, which is at the outer layer of the planet. It has a specific, it's almost like your intentions reach that level faster. So I like to sit and do ceremony to set intention at Heart Lake. I've done this a couple times, and Jen, I have pictures I can show people at some point. I have a little Canva thing that I did for people so they can see the images. But I give you biodegradable paper, and you'll sit and you'll journal and you'll write your intentions and you'll set prayers, and we leave it there. We tuck it into, little rocks or other places around this. And you can get into Heart Lake. It's not super big, but it is absolutely shaped like a heart. And you can get into and swim into the water. So we'll spend some time there setting intention and really enjoying ourselves. One year with my retreats, I brought bubbles, and we blew bubbles off the top of the mountain, and we started singing. And people that were coming up, they're like, what the heck are they doing? But we were just having such a fun time, just really tapping into the energy of playfulness, because that is a high vibe experience. You want to manifest quickly in your life, make it playful. Right? Make it playful. So we're going to bring a lot of playfulness into this, and dancing and singing and fun. And then from there, we're going to hike back down to Castle Lake, which is below Heart Lake. And this is an incredibly beautiful, clean, the granite walls around it are spectacular. You can see down probably at least 15, 20 feet. It's so clear. And the water is warm, and with these big granite rocks that we can jump off into. There's a little bitty beach that we're going to get so that everybody can come and kind of, we'll sort of gather on this little bitty beach. My husband's going to go up super early and make sure that we have that spot. And then from there, we have paddle boards and kayaks that you can use to just tour around. There's some very special succulents that are there. They're called cobra plants, and they only grow on the side of the rocks at this lake. So we'll take you over there for those of you who are naturalists and like to see the plants and, the flora and fauna. We're going to take a look at those because those are really cool. And we're just going to enjoy the sun and the water, and we'll do purification at the water. We'll do some cleansing and purification, and just enjoy and, get to know one another. So I think that's where we ended, right? At Castle Lake, Jen?
Yep, at Castle Lake. Then we're going to have a break, and then we are going to come back together. And on the break, people can go shopping. They can check out what's happening downtown, grab a bite to eat. We're providing breakfast and lunch, and then they'll be on their own for dinner. Then they'll come back for the Quantum Sacred Cacao Ceremony, which, Jen, can you tell us about this segment?
Yes, so we will ingest ceremonial grade cacao. Mother Cacao will be present, and my business partner Cherie of Feathered Sage will be doing chakra clearing, guided meditation, and cleansing, cleansing the aura and all that kind of stuff. And then we will do some breath work, a series of breath work along the side with drumming and sound baths with, I just now learned the didgeridoo. So we'll be doing that, or I'll be doing that while she assists with the breath work exercises. So it's a very deep healing experience. Get you connected to your physical body. You can work through some emotional stagnation in your body through the breath work, and the sacred drumming and the sound healing will just kind of envelope you in that experience. So,
oh my gosh, I can't wait. I'm like,
I can't be there. That sounds amazing.
I don't know if I'll get to participate because I'll be facilitating, making sure you all have everything you need. But the time that I did do breath work in person, it was so powerful, just the session alone, and transformational. And so I can only imagine what adding all of these extra modalities and special things into it is just going to be phenomenal. And Rosie, who actually has attended Jen and Cherie's goddess retreat, which highly recommend, and I don't know if you guys have a date for the next one or not, but she said it's really beautiful and that your cacao is delicious. And if people don't know what cacao is, it's like a chocolate, right?
Yes,
it's like a sacred chocolate.
It's unprocessed. It's straight from the beautiful trees of the cacao trees. It's very
and why is it sacred, or why is it like healing?
Oh my gosh, I feel like there's a long story behind it, but the mother cacao is the plant spirit of cacao, and she's very loving, and it's a very heart opening ceremony. It really surrounds the heart chakra. It amplifies the feelings of that. It's not psychedelic. Some people get confused that it's a psychedelic. It's not. But it does give you a sense of feeling, joyful and euphoric and present. So, and I like to mix my cacao with rose tea. So that's why it's more of really centers your heart even deeper. So, yeah.
Ooh, oh my gosh, I can't wait. Okay. Yeah. Lorie, just so you know, when you go to talk again, I muted you because there was a little bit of feedback on the line. Okay, Saturday, July 22nd, we are going to meet at the park again, and then we are going to head to Fairy Falls and hike Fairy Falls. We're going to stop at a sacred spot, or probably a couple sacred spots. And then at the view of the top of Fairy Falls, we will take some time there. We will do some more ceremonies and rituals and eat lunch. And then we're going to hike down and head to Lake Siskiyou. I hope I said that right. And we are going to check in and head out on a freaking pontoon boat adventure. I'm super excited for this because I love going on boats and I love being on the water, just, boating around. I don't even know what you call it, trotting around. And then we will leave and have a dinner break again, and then we will have a fire ceremony in the evening time. So, Lorie, you want to tell us a little bit about everything?
Yes. So again, the waters, I think the waters are the central component to this whole experience because, again, they're so purifying and so clean. Lake Siskiyou is definitely more of the fun side. It is a camp resort that's on one of the sides. That's where my family and I had gone for several years. But we're going to hike first to Fairy Falls. We're going to go fairy hunting. And there are gnomes in the waterfalls. And I'm going to ask you, we're going to do a little scavenger hunt while we're on the road, which is going to be super fun. I've been putting that together. And we're going to get there and we're just going to commune again. I'm going to bring in some more exercises for you to commune with nature. What does that mean? Like how to actually tap in, how to be walking through nature, connecting to cosmos, how to be walking through nature to connect to the deeper roots of the earth. So you're going to be getting experience exercises to help you deepen into the experience so that you can take back. Because honestly, a lot of people, are living in urban environments. And for those of us that are super sensitive, we've been beaten down, by 5G and all, and just the intensity of the more unconscious collective that we tend to be around. So it's super important for people to come to a more pure area. That's part of what this is about. That's part of what Mount Shasta does. In fact, Jenn, do I have time? Can I share a quick testimonial kind of from a client that had come up with me years ago?
Please do.
So one of the gals that attended one of my retreats, she's a nurse. So she's in the hospital she's a pediatric nurse. So it's a really intense job to begin with. But she was living in a place where she was starting to get sick because of mold. So she was pretty sick when she came up, and we spent about 4 days together, and it completely reset her health. Like she was blown away at how putting her feet on the earth, swimming in the waters, drinking the waters, being out in nature, breathing in, there's these things called terpenes. Trees put out they call them nature's vitamins. You're inhaling them. They are shifting your immune system when you're out in nature, and especially spending time with trees. So she was getting all of these incredible benefits. And when she got home, she moved out of the house, which she needed to do, but it completely reset her health, the status of her health. She could not believe it, that just a couple of days up here completely transformed her health. She was still obviously cleaning and clearing, but this supercharged her to get back into her more healthy state more quickly. So I just wanted to share that because I thought that was a really powerful I have lots of stories of clients who've had amazing experiences being here.
Oh, well, if you want to share any more, please do.
Well, okay, another gal, when she got here, she got very clear about her purpose. It just, it feels like laser focus. And I always say that the mountain almost seems like the energy of Kali. And Kali is about like, just let's get it done and clean. And like, we're not dealing with illusion anymore. We're not going to allow certain destructive patterns to continue to happen. Like when you get here, it's like that. It's beautiful and it's enjoyable and it's fun. And it's like, we're going to start moving stuff out of your system. So she had gotten married. She was married. She was in a relationship that wasn't a good relationship for her, and she knew it. But when she got here, she got very clear. She got lots of guidance. And when she left, she and her husband actually separated and divorced very quickly after she got home, because it was time for her to make a change. So those are the kind of transformational things that have happened from my experience with clients that have come up. So the waters absolutely are so incredibly purifying, and it resets your nervous system. So if you're living, for those of you that are watching, if you're living in an urban environment, or you're just feeling like you just, you can't find yourself again, like this is such an incredible place to bring you back. You feel so crystal clear when you get here. It's like everything has been completely removed from your system that is not necessary. You let go of things that just aren't serving you anymore. And the waters are a part of it. So after we do Fairy Falls and we go hunting for fairies, we're going to go down to Lake Siskiyou, where, and Fairy Falls, one thing, it's there. We're going to be going past the remnants of an old bathhouse. Back in the late 1800s, there were several bathhouses here. And on the hike to Fairy Falls is the remnants of what was Nay Springs. And we're going to see the big octagon, the bath that has the bubbling sulfur water coming up. You're going to see the red and white springs, the minerals coming out. So it's iron and silica coming out of the sides. When I saw this, when we first hiked up, I was flipping out, because I'm like, oh my God, these are the minerals in the sacred waters that you find in Glastonbury. And my family's just like going, okay, she's lost it. Because I'm like, oh my God. So we're gonna definitely stop and take a look at that and really honor that spot. And we can be in that water if we want. And then we're gonna walk up to Fairy Falls. Then we're gonna go down to Lake Siskiyou after the fact, where that mineralized water is actually going into this beautiful lake. Same thing. It's super warm. It's clear. You can feel the mineral content in it. It's absolutely incredible. And we're gonna take a pontoon boat, which is going to be super fun. And we're going to tool around the lake. You're going to get to see bald eagles. Hopefully we'll see them, but we've got several bald eagles that have started to populate the area. And it's just a really lovely way. We'll stop and anchor, and you can jump off and swim, and we'll probably have our paddle boards and our kayaks with us so that you can kind of tool around. And we'll take a tour of the little lake. It's not super big, but it's one of the reasons why I moved here. Warm water, swim in clean, warm water.
I love that. I cannot wait. And no wonder why I started off, because, when I'm doing these things just come through as a channel. And I'm like, why am I sharing with people about my nervous system and how I do pre-recorded videos now versus like live? It's because your nervous system controls everything that is happening in your life. And it's being in constant survival mode and like stress and chaos. And it can even be subtle things like excitement. To me, I've learned is great, but it's also that feeling of chaos. Like, oh, I don't know. Like, I really noticed that it affected me. This is an example for myself for doing live videos when a spammer came on and kept spamming XXX sex ladies. And, so I was getting taken out of my energy, seeing in the comments, like 100 comments coming through, and I kept going and blocking them. And then they would come on another profile. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And my anxiety then kicked in, and I was like, oh, I see now. So I see that like the nervous system is the anxiety I feel, and my chest starts pumping, or my stomach gets really hard. And so what Lorie's telling us, and I'm super excited about, because I already know this, I have other friends that live here, I have a ton of people that have been here, and when I tell them we're doing this event, they're like, oh my gosh, it's so magical. And it's the root chakra. The root is like the base of the chakra system. If you're not familiar with it, it's your 7 energy centers that align directly in your body with the root, right at like your butt, basically. And it is like going to ground you so much that you can give it back to the earth, and you'll have that like serene, peaceful, calm sense, and that nervous system will be regulated. We are going to assist with that as well, with all of these amazing things that we'll be, filling in with the rituals and the ceremonies and grids and breath work and sound baths and all this great stuff. So, Jen, do you have anything to add to that?
I was just thinking how the Native Americans, I read that Mount Shasta was the center of the universe in their folklore. So
that's cool.
Throwing it out there.
Yeah, that's really cool. I love that. And then let's talk about the fire ceremony in the evening, in the PM.
Yep. So we will reconvene for a fire ceremony to do several different kinds of exercises to purify and release. And fire is absolutely very, very helpful. It's one of the elementals that help us process information. And, we can either release and let go, or you can actually send your prayers, which get carried up on the smoke, into the cosmos to be manifested. So when we do these things, because our subconscious is so susceptible to metaphor and ceremony and ritual, it helps us move out of the conscious mind and into the deeper subconscious. And I know Jen can absolutely confirm with that, right, Jen? Yeah, Jenn Hansen. And it's one of the most beautiful ways to, again, connect with the elements of the earth, the elementals, and to tap into a greater knowing and understanding. And part of it is just allowing yourself to release things. We get so heady in it, right? And part of this whole experience is to drop back into the heart, which is our portal to everything. The heart is the portal. So when we can drop into that and expand and have fun through these gatherings together, through this community, again, that's part of the transformation. So fire is going to be one of them. So we're going to do some very interesting exercises. I'm going to provide you with some interesting ways to utilize fire to bring about whatever it is you want to bring about.
To me, fire like equates to anger. Like, I want to get out the anger. And, that's also very healing as well. But what I was going to say, because I know sometimes release is going to be crying, that we are going to hold the space and create a very safe environment for people. So if things do come up, we have a ton of expert guides with us that will be able to support and be there real time. And then, if you're like me and you crying is not necessarily your first form of release, it might be laughter, because that's where I go. And I realized that in my breathwork session, most of the other people are having different experiences, and I'm over here going, But that's what I realized, thanks to Cherie, that's my form of release. And that is perfectly fun and capable as well, too. So we are here for all of it, and let's get weird.
And I love that you're speaking to that, because that is, we'll have a code of conduct, and a code of love is what we're calling it, right? So we're going to talk about what that means for the container, activating the container and holding that love. And the crying piece is interesting too, because it can also happen when our heart's open, which is what happens here. I remember putting a ceremony on for one of the retreats, and we went up to Heart Lake, and it's such an amazing heart opening spot. It is one of the vortices in the area. And I set the container, and then I just started weeping, because my heart was just like, and I could see the gals like kind of looking at me like, is she crying because she's crying because it's like this joyous, blissful state that's taking over. So I'm glad you spoke to that, because you can have crying for both reasons,
Yes, that's true too. And I did not address that. So thank you for
that. Yeah, no, it's okay.
Hi, Kat. I see Kat just joined us. Okay, and then on the last day, I'm like, who knew that we have so much to share? We're here, but luckily we don't have a cutoff time, and this will be on recording. So if you're busy or you're coming in on the replay, you can always watch it at your leisure. And then on the last day, oh, and breakfast and lunch is included on all the days, just in case we haven't mentioned that or it wasn't clear enough. Want to make sure to communicate that. We will go to Bunny Flats and hike to Horse Camp, have lunch up there, build a circle, do some more ceremonies. Maybe we'll even make contact or ask for some UFO signs to come through. I mean, I've heard it's a pretty awesome place to do that. So I'm just throwing it out there. We'll see. No guarantees. And then we will depart to Sand Flats and hang out at the Sand Flats for a while. And then we're going to go to back to Shasta, and we'll close out with a sound bath, but then we'll invite everyone to attend and join us for music in the park. So before I pass it over to Lorie, what I would personally recommend is plan on staying till Monday if you can, so that you can hang out with us, because we're going to have bonded and we're going to build relationships and get to know new people and make connections and make new friends and new support systems also, like not just friends but people that you can call when you're having a hard day, like I was the other day. And I call up some people in the network here, and yeah, so it's like we would invite you to stay until Monday so that you can enjoy all the festivities all the way till the end. However, we do understand if you have to get back. That's why we decided to do the music in the park as the final thing, because it's just really relaxing after a sound bath. Just chill and lay on the grass and listen to great music or dance if you want to, depending on what's happening, and hang out. And then, if you have to leave, you don't feel like you're missing so much, but also you still get to participate in another local experience. So we're starting with a local experience and we're ending with it. So you can take a little bit of Shasta in your heart as you head home. All right, Lorie, take it away.
I love it. So yes, so the last day is we're going to be on the mountain. We're going to actually get up and be on the mountain, and Bunny Flats is the starting point. Most of the time, and I'm guessing there's probably going to be still enough snow up there that the gate to Panther Meadows, because what's interesting is Everett Memorial Highway is what we take to get up to Bunny Flats. It keeps going and it dead ends at Summit, which is at about 7,500 feet. But we probably won't be able to get up there. If we can, maybe we'll make some adjustments in that, Jen. But for now, we're going to go to Bunny Flats. And as Jen Hansen said, the Indians really revered the mountain. In fact, they said that people shouldn't really go. There's a certain altitude that you get to that they don't want you going any further. That was meant for the shamans and the shamanas and the gods. So we're not going to go that high, but we are going to get to Bunny Flats, and we're going to walk out to Horse Camp, which is a really beautiful hike. It's a moderate hike, and we're going to eat there, and we're going to stop. And part of the ceremony is connecting with the directions. So if you are somebody who wants to do that and really tap into the elementals again, we're going to do that a couple times so that you can actually take that practice back home with you and start learning how to, like as the morning sun in the east, you get to say good morning to the morning sun. So we're just going to, I know all of us want to bring in some things that you can take back with you from a ritual perspective. So we're going to get up there and we'll do something like that, and we'll have lunch, and we'll be on the mountain. And yes, absolutely. We can sit in meditation and call in some communication. In fact, there's a channel that I love listening to. His name is Bashar, and he is based, apparently his craft is above Sedona, but Sedona and Mount Shasta are sort of twin sisters. And so he talks about how, are you hearing the train? So we have a train behind you. His communication happens in Mount Shasta as well. And there are lots and lots of stories about all the different kinds of crafts that people have seen here. In fact, I have a police report from somebody in town. He gave it to me with a picture of the craft in 2017 that kind of hovered for 2 hours over the town, and tons of people saw it. People see orbs all the time, in the evening time, especially around the waters. So there is off-planet consciousness here. There's a lot of it. So yes. We may have that kind of experience. And then after that, what's that?
I said we just might, and I love that your light is just flickering like crazy back there.
Oh, is it really? Oh, they're talking to you. Yeah. So after that, we're going to drive down the hill a little bit, and we're going to go to the Boulder Vortex, because again, Mount Shasta has lots of different vortices, and you're going to be able to feel that energy. That's part of some of the experiences that we'll have, helping you tap into that, helping you tap into your own intuition, because you are your own guru. Nobody knows more than you do. And that's part of what this experience is about, is helping you grow into that, your own guru, your own knowing. So we're going to stop at the Boulder Vortex, which is one of my favorites because I love rocks, as I told you in the beginning. But they are massive boulders. So we're going to sit and do meditation and journaling at that spot. And then after that, we're coming back to town, right, Jen? So we're going to have a break. And then the sound bath. So I'm passing it back to you as it relates to the agenda.
Okay, so when we get back, we're going to have a sound bath. We are going to have additional guides aside from the three of us that'll be helping to facilitate and sharing their magic and their gifts, their healing, their coaching, their modalities with all of us that will be on this journey together. And you'll be meeting them as well. We'll be having some more interviews so you can get to know them and, get the vibe of the group. That's really why I told the ladies, I was like, we got to do an interview. First of all, people need the information. Second of all, I personally love to watch interviews or someone on a video and kind of feel how I feel in their energy. And I'm like, okay, is this someone I want to hang out with for 4 days? And when you're watching this, I really hope you get a hell yeah. And if not, then you're not invited. I'm totally kidding. Everybody who feels called should come. And I really tap into my personal opinion is that I call it source marketing. I just put it out into the universe that whoever should come. And I've done a lot of events. I've done a lot of different events. I used to be in the party lifestyle. I've done birthday parties all the time for myself. Like we did a cruise with 30 people. We went to The Price is Right and America's Got Talent one year. I had a Dirty 30 Jungle Boogie dress up in safari attire. I can guarantee you that you will have a good time. And if you're watching this and if you've ever been to one of my events, please, and with partnerships, not just mine only, but please comment. I had an event planning company called The Social Muse, and we put on amazing parties and gatherings. People have met their significant others or developed and grew their relationship at these events. People have made new best friends. Enemies have come together at peace. And I feel like that's really, something to say that as much as it sounds like it's just something simple, it's like, wow, this really is my gift, is just to create space of fun and gathering and play. Like Lorie said, high vibing and peace and new connections. And one thing that's really important to me is making sure that everybody feels welcome. So I think that I personally have a wounding of belonging, not feeling like I'm accepted. Like Lorie said, feeling weird. Is that everybody? I think we all kind of feel that way on some way, shape, or form. An includer. I'm also an includer. That's definitely in my top strengths, like legit strengths finder strengths. And so if you come or you're thinking about coming and you are just going to be by yourself, then come and join us, because we will make sure that you feel included. You are one of the packed, and this is going to be a big love fest in a weird way, but non-weird way, but weird way at the same time. So all of the above. So anyways, back to the sound bath. We're going to close it out with the sound bath, and then we are going to head to the music at the park for a chill evening. I am definitely staying till Monday. I know Jenn is. Lorie lives there. So we will all be there, and whoever else decides to stay with us. Lorie, thank you for all that information.
Yeah, and let me just say about the music in the park. So this is a summertime thing, and it's bluegrass mostly. And it's a beautiful, that we're Shasta's Park, which is where we're going to be meeting every morning. It's so much fun. If you really like the vibe of just wanting to get the local Mount Shasta vibe, that is the place to go. And we just bring blankets, and we bring all of our picnic stuff and frisbees, and it's just such a fun time. So if you can make it and stay for that, that is it's part of one of the important things that happen here in the summertime. So I just wanted to make sure and share that piece.
Yes, I love that. And bluegrass is just so
Hmm.
you can't be mad at bluegrass ever.
Hmm.
Like you're in the presence of
Hmm.
bluegrass, you're just having
Hmm.
a grand old time.
Hmm.
And that's really one of the themes of this is like play and fun and love and heart and soul, like all the high vibing stuff. Now, is other stuff going to come up? For sure. Like, and we're here to hold you and support you along the way. So why do you want to join us? Well, one, because we're really fun, first of all. First and foremost, let me just get that out there. And no, I like to have a good time. I love to sing. I love to dance. I know these ladies do as well. And good people attract good people. What do you two have to add to that? I'm like, that's like my biggest thing is we're going to just have fun. And it's going to be transformational, spiritual, and like deepen your intuition, expand your spirituality. Okay, I can keep going. Jen, go ahead.
Yeah, bring your authentic self and just be.
I love that. Lorie,
Yeah.
what do you have to add?
Well, I just, not only is it fun, but you're going to have access to some very, very, what's the word? The guides, there are going to be a lot of different guides that you're going to have access to. So not only are you hanging out and enjoying and being on the journey of experiencing the place, but you get like one-to-one time with people that can help you through things. Like it's going to have it'll be that, right? We'll be talking, we'll be going deep, we'll be sharing, we'll be healing together. And there's nothing like a group that is cohesive and in that loving space. There's nothing better than being in something like that in a container to really transform. So if there's anything that you feel like you're wanting to process, it's a great way to do it, as well as having fun, and humor and fun help to break the trance of things that have been holding you back. So if you're going to go someplace for the summer, make it Mount Shasta.
Yeah, I love that. And I also want to say, so the way I look at it, we were talking about this earlier, is there's two influences, right? There's going to be the negative influence. So you're maybe the person that's having a rough time in your life. You just had a breakup. You are like, what the hell am I doing with my life? Like I was. Am I living up to my full potential? I'm experiencing a lot of anxiety, depression. I'm living in survival mode. I just lost my job. I'm going through a divorce. Whatever, some hard, dark night of the soul that's happening in your life right now, this might be the perfect event to help you, support you through it, and give you some tools and resources and a place to release it and let it go. Now, there's also the people on the other side of the spectrum, and we welcome you both. You're all invited and welcome here. And these people are on a high of life, and they're like, this is badass. I'm kicking life's ass right now, and I am ready to expand. Like, this is where I am right now. I'm still having these hard days of depression and anxiety, like I shared the other day in my Facebook post. And it's because I'm leveling up. I need this support as I shed this piece of myself. I'm going to leave it at the mountain and I'm going to walk away a new person that's expanding my personal life. I'm calling in my partner this year, my life partner. I want to get an RV and travel the world. I want my business to be self-sufficient and to help a lot of people and reach a lot of people. So I'm leveling up. So we got both people here and everybody's going to shed and release and have a great experience and leave feeling whole and love and like an open heart, like Lorie's been saying. Heart is the theme here, which is perfect. My last name's Hart, so I love it. Lorie or Jen, do you have anything to add to that?
I think I would just say that they're going to walk away feeling more like themselves probably than they have for a very long time.
Ooh, and people
Now,
might not even know what that feels like.
right. I mean, even just like when you said to be able to come back to a place of serenity and peace, most people probably, I know I didn't when we first started coming and we spent time at the water. We spent 2 weeks here, four, and I've had clients who've had tremendous experiences too, just releasing, but I couldn't believe how calm my nervous system was. Like, I don't know that I have ever felt that before. And I've lived in an urban environment for a really long time. And I think that was the most profound experience for me. All of the cleansing, getting into the water really grounds, and the water, represents emotion. So releasing so much of that just by swimming in the water, I couldn't believe and I went back home with it, and that lasted for a couple of weeks. Just this really, just again, that I can't even describe it. Like, it's a feeling thing, but it absolutely reset the nervous system. So I just
love
want to
that.
say that.
I'm in. I'm in. Sign me up. Crack myself up. Unlike if anybody else laughs, it's just an added bonus. Okay, so we've talked about, there's going to be a lot of things. We've talked about some of the major transformational opportunities that we have: the fire ceremony, purification, the quantum sacred cacao ceremony, our sound baths, and then there will be a lot of little nuggets along the way. Again, you're going to be in the company of expert guides, healers, coaches. And I know Jenn was talking about doing some card reading. So I don't know if you've ever been surrounded by intuitives, but I freaking love the business that I built, because I'm like, there's just nuggets coming out all the time, channels of information. Like, you just happen to be in the presence and they'll be like, I got a hit. Can I share it with you? And I'm like, tell me all the things. Like, it is amazing to have validation for things I might be thinking on the inside that I am waiting for guidance on, or it's just going to be magical. It's a safe space. Physical safety, Lorie, do you want to comment on that? Like the hikes and that kind of stuff. So we will be holding a safe space emotionally and mentally. And then Lorie's going to comment on the physical. Before you do that, Kat, who also is commenting right now and attended the goddess retreat with Jenn and Cherie, is saying that Jenn's cacao ceremony brought out so much in her heart. Oh my gosh, live testimonials. I love it. Thank you, Kat, for sharing that. And Rosie earlier as well. Okay, go ahead, Lorie.
Oh, thank you. That's wonderful. I love when you can hear from, people live. The safety, well, first of all, we're going to, you're the authority of yourself. So if there's certain things that don't feel comfortable, we'll have an alternative plan for you, for sure. The hikes have been chosen because they're moderate. So, ideally you're going to want to be in a fair amount of shape to be able to take the hikes. The swimming, if you're not comfortable swimming, if we're on the pontoon boat, we have life vests, so you can wear a life vest. So we will take the safety of it very seriously, for sure. We'll take our time. We're not going to be rushing. Jenn has been on us about making sure we're padding in plenty of time for that, right, Jenn? Yeah, you're like, let's have time.
I padded it in for myself, because even when I'm very out of shape right now and overweight, and I need to get back to the gym, but when I was in really good shape, my lungs are not always the most expansive when it comes to hiking. So although I look like I could really keep up, I still need a lot of time to get up mountains. So that was for me and for those that are like me. So I'll be hanging out in the back with everybody else, pulling up the, what do you call it? The end of the caboose. There we go.
Yeah. Okay. You'll be on the back end making sure, everybody gets there. So we haven't chosen anything that's super extreme, for sure, as it relates to safety. I think we talked about the emotional safety. So this is more of the physical stuff. We're all going to be together. Nobody will be left behind. We're going to wait for everybody. It's not that, we're, going to shoot up the hill. This is going to be more of a leisurely, enjoyable kind of thing. It's not really for the exercise. However, you're going to want to feel like you're in shape enough to be able to do it. So I think I addressed that.
Yes. And it's a great, accountability partner. Buy your ticket. Mm-hmm. And then if you live near me, call me up. I need to go to the gym, and I would love to have an accountability partner. And now I really have motivation that mm-hmm. I have to really, really, like, I'm doing a walk here and there, doing some squats in my room, but I'm like, no, now it's like go time, because I have accountability to myself. Like, I can't decide not to attend this event. So I got to work it out. Right. There was one other thing I was just going to share. Oh, it's a sober event also, just to be clear on that. I know that some spiritual places, they still do drinking and stuff like that. I mean, if people go on their break and they want to have a drink, that's totally up to them. But like, as far as we're concerned, everything is sober. The cacao, again, is not any type of hallucinogen or anything like that. Let me see what else. Talked about that. Oh, okay. So yeah. Pricing. Let's talk about pricing. If you are already a member of the Connected Soul Network, you do have an exclusive offer And because you're a member, you have a discounted price, and that is $888. If you are a guest, the price is $1,111, also known as 1111. We love our numbers. And we have an exclusive, amazing offer that is for a limited time only until June 9th. You can get this retreat, well, tour, retreat, mystical journey, whatever you want to call it. I call it all of the above, for $1,011. So save $100, and you'll get a 1-year Explorer membership in the Connected Soul Network. What does that mean? That means that you instantly get access to all the replays that have been available of events, different types of meditations, support, sound journeys, like so much good stuff. We have, I think we're almost to 40 events since November. So thank you to the guides in the network for that. And then you will also be able to attend all live events that are coming up for the next year. And it's a steal of a deal price. It literally breaks down to $10 a month, which if you just want to attend one event in the network as a guest, it's $15. So for me, I'm just like, it's a no-brainer, right? There's amazing people, great community. The guides who are always guiding and supporting us are awesome. And you always will get like priority and hot seat coaching over, guests that might attend events as well. So anything either you two want to add about the membership, since you are in the membership?
I'll go, Jen. I just love all of the variety of spiritual guidance that you get. I know that you've got the tarot readings, right? You've got the monthly astrology, which I think a lot of people really love. You've got co-working, which is really powerful too, right? So people can come in and co-work together for those of us that tend to procrastinate and like, I got to get this done. So you have those kinds of things. You have the sound healing, you have the chakra clearing, like for people coming in that are explorers that want to dabble in a variety of different kinds of modalities. This is a great community for it, because then you start to get a sense of, oh, I really like that. I'm really aligned to that. But you have a variety of things. It's like a smorgasbord for the spiritual seeker. So I just wanted to share that piece.
Thank you, Lorie. It's very true. I built what I was. Like, I was a person that went and did all these things. And so I was like, let me just bring these people to have a little peace, and then find who they love and go follow them and go to their events. It's like connecting synergistically, like bringing all of us together. So I also believe, the one thing I didn't say about the retreat is that being in the space of others, like if you go to Shasta by yourself, like you'll still get a great experience. But when you come and you are in the essence and the energy of other people, the vibe and your healing, it just ripple effects and like is even higher, like the vibe and the frequency and the transformations. Like I've done meditations by myself and I've done them in a group, and the difference is crazy. And this is like scientific facts. It's the same thing in the membership as well. Come to an event and be in the energy of everyone there, and you are creating this higher frequency for yourself and your healing and transformation. And my personal opinion and my personal mission in the world is that if we all just focus on ourselves and our own healing and our own personal development work, we will create a ripple effect and create change in the lives of everyone around us just by us doing the work. Not talking about anybody else, blaming, doing, hey, this person did this, if they weren't this way, because the more work we do and the better that we get at communicating, at boundaries, at healing our wounds and releasing these triggers, the better we can show up for people. And I believe we're all leaders, and we are all here to have a purpose, and multiple purposes actually. So anyways, I will keep going off on this tangent. We have a question. Is there a shareable image and ad I can use to share and post on my social media for this retreat? Yes, we will get you one. We have a few things, but we're going to make some more. Thank you, Kat, for the support. This is what I love about the network. Kat's a guide in the network. She does tarot readings. And yeah, we have a lot of great things. We have human design coming too. My friend Jenn, she's phenomenal. Jenn Hansen-Silva, do you have anything else to share about the network? Sorry.
Replays. If you miss something, you're physically not going to be there, but I've utilized the replays and you don't miss out. So if you can't make it, you'll be able to catch it when you can. So
Yes.
Throw
Thank
that out
you.
there.
I appreciate that. And we're all connected in the Facebook group. So you can always, make a connection after a replay and be like, hey, did anyone else watch this? It was great. I want to talk about it. We have a book club coming up. We have lots of different things. So please check it out. I did not put the link in here. So just message me, comment, membership, and I'll get you the information. If you can't join us on Shasta, it is still $180 for the year. So it's still $15 a month when you break that down. And thanks, Kat, for sharing this. Is anyone else that's been watching us? First of all, thank you for joining us. Thanks for having your energy on this live with us. And I know we've gone a little over an hour, so we appreciate you staying. Does anyone have any questions? And if you are watching this on the replay, please say hello still. And let us know what questions you have. We'll be monitoring the comments, so you can put your question there. If you are one of our 3 friends, tag whoever you're connected with so that we make sure that we get the notification, and we'll be monitoring it. And we would love to answer your questions at any time. So I'll give it a second. Do you 2 have anything else to add?
I have a little video of some of the gals at Bunny Flats. It's just kind of a cute, quick video. I don't know if you want me to share that as we're going out. I had some images, but I know we're up for time. So just let me know.
No, we're not up for time. I mean, I don't
okay.
have a hard time stop since it's not pre-recorded. So if it's pre-recorded, I have to stop at an hour. This is behind the scenes, people. I love behind the scenes stuff. So yeah, we can share.
Yeah, do you want to see? You guys want to see? Okay, so I just hit present, right? Present.
Yeah. And while you set that up, I think Jen had something to share.
Okay, share screen. So let's share on that. Okay, share screen.
I'm excited to see the video.
Okay.
Okay, let me see. Where am I supposed to? Okay. Okay, it should be. No, here we go. Share. Is this right? Can you see it? Okay. Hold on one second. Present. Full screen. Present. Okay. And then. Okay, this is. Can you guys see it?
Mount Shasta.
Were you able to see that?
Yes, it looks stunning.
So this is Bunny Flat. We got there to watch the sunrise in the morning. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say it looks fake. That's all.
Yeah. I know, right? And then let me see. Let's go. Let me go back to, let's see. So I can go to the next. I just want to show you. So here's some of the fireflies. So one of the things that I think is going to be super fun too, for those that want to come in costume, I brought a bunch of different, I brought like wigs and makeup, and we had these beautiful little belly dancing kind of hip skirts that we were using around the fire. And this image here is up at Heart Lake. This is where we were journaling and doing some prayer work, where we were going to leave the prayers there. This is Heart Lake behind here. Juliet here at the top. This is McLeod. We're not going to be getting there, but I just wanted you to see how beautiful the waters are. Here at Heart Lake, you can see here's Mount Shasta on the other side. So this is why I'm saying we're kind of like looking over to the mountain, and we're at the same level as Bunny Flats. And then just some more images here at Bunny Flats. Here's some of the circling. We made these beautiful crowns. Just sound bath, the big bowls in town. And I think that's it.
Those are like the biggest bowls I've ever seen. That's crazy awesome.
This one is amazing. This is real. Like this one, you sound it and you feel like you're being sucked down into the earth. It's just this wall. It's so beautiful. This is at one of the shops that I would go to, and we would have a private singing bowl ceremony happen there. The gal that used to do it no longer lives in town, but this is her shop with these big, beautiful bowls. And I can tell everybody where to go to get to these bowls so they can experience that bowl. It's just beautiful. So,
oh, that reminds me that I do want to mention that everyone is responsible for their own lodging. That way they can pick what fits best for them. There are campsites available at a very affordable price, and we have that information on the website. And what I wanted to add is that maybe Lorie can speak a little bit about this, but she had a connection, and they are actually going to give anybody that is part of this retreat a 15% discount when they book there if they want to stay at a little local. Is it a bed and breakfast or a hotel or a motel?
It's a little motel. It's really cute and clean, and they use non-toxic cleaners, which is what I really like, right? So they're very much into the environmental aspect of the town. And it's a small little motel. It's called the Coal Creek Inn, and we'll have that information on the flyer. You know, when you're signing up, you can get that information to sign up for your lodging right away, because it's the busiest. There's so many events. I mean, I just shared that event with the two of you that's happening at the same time. So there's a lot happening, especially around that time in July. So
Yes.
we're going to want them to get on top of it.
Book your reservations now and go to the website below. It is my personal website that we're hosting this on. So Jennifer Hart, H-A-R-T, just in case you don't know me and we're new friends, .com/Mount Shasta 2023. If you go to my website and you're like, I'm not going to remember this, just go to jenniferhart.com, click on the upcoming events little tile icon, and you will find it posted there along with all the upcoming events in the membership, which I'd encourage you to look at and join us in anyways. So ladies, do you have anything else? I haven't seen any other questions come through. Kat, we love you. You are amazing. Rosie, I don't know who the third person here was, but whoever you are, thank you for joining us. We love you. And I don't say that like, oh, I just love everybody. Like I really do love you and am grateful for your energy and your body being here. And yeah, just hanging out with us and listening to us share our passions and our gifts with the world. And we can't wait to see you do the same. And Lorie or Jenn, anything else?
I would just concur with what you just said.
Same. It's active self-care to choose to come.
Self-care. I love that. And I mean, I can't confirm this. You would need to talk to your accountant, but potentially could be a write-off if you have a business. And this is like coaching and healing all together. And, you know, you can share about it, write a blog about it, something like that. So ask your accountant. Don't take my word for it. It's like from Reading Rainbow. He's like, don't take my word for it. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Aging myself here. And with that, we shall sign off. Oh, and Rosie said that Danny and Cherie were here. Thanks to Danny and Cherie. We love you too. Cherie is amazing. You're going to meet her soon. I'm so excited. Her and Jenn are going to come on, and we are going to talk about the quantum sacred cacao ceremony in more detail and let you get to know Jenn even more, and Cherie, phenomenal. Anyways, thank you everyone for joining us, and we appreciate you, and we hope to see you soon at the Mount Shasta event. And I just want to say, if you could please share this with a friend that you can think of when you're like, oh my God, this event would be perfect for this person. Maybe you can't go. We would love the support if you could share it with someone that you thought of, and you never know, that ripple effect of you might just change someone's life. So thanks for joining us. We appreciate you. Have an amazing day or night. Bye.